very good morning to my dear class 12 computer science students. Beta, we were doing chapter number 5 and today we will be reading out a new topic, that is standard input, output and error streams. Okay, and we'll be doing the practical of the same along with the theory part. After the discussion of the theory, we'll be doing the practical also. Okay, so this topic basically focuses on few streams. For that we need a particular module, so we'll be reading that stream name and this module name one by one. Before that, a few things I would like to ask you in terms of questions. If anybody asks you that which input device you will use for the interaction, or we can say for the typing purpose, so what would be your answer? Definitely it will be keyboard. Okay, and if someone says you tell me the output device where you can display your content, so your answer would be monitor. Okay, so if you want to display something which is an error, so where you will display that too on the monitor screen, right? So input you are taking from keyboard, okay, or output you are showing on the monitor, and error also you are showing on the monitor. So we can say keyboard is your input device, monitor is your output device, and error device also. Okay, so keyboard, so in nutshell what we can say, the keyboard is the standard input device, monitor is the standard output device, and your monitor is also standard error device. Okay, so what we can say for that, we need certain streams for it. Okay, so standard input device, for standard input device we use a stream named as std_in. Okay, this is a stream, this is a standard stream. Fine. Why we use these standard streams? Because these standard devices like keyboard, monitor, they are implemented as files, and these files are known as standard streams. I'm repeating once again, these standard devices like keyboard and mouse, okay, they are implemented as files which are known as standard streams. Okay, so what is the standard stream for input device keyboard? That is std_in, because we are giving input here, so std is for standard, in is for input. Okay, so input device, standard input device stream is std_in. Similarly for monitor we have std_out, this is your output device, and monitor is also known as standard error device also, but for that stream would be std_err. err stands for error. Okay, and all these streams where they are lying, they are existing in a module, and that module is known as Sys Modules. Sys stands for system. Okay, Sys stands for system. So these three streams are a part of Sys module. So whenever we are starting up a program where we need to use these streams, so for that we must import the Sys module. Okay, so let us see, and definitely these streams will use the relevant functions, like you want to take input, means you want to read the data, so for that you need read function or read line function, and when we need to write something, okay, so for that we will need the monitor to be, actually, see, one thing I would like to make you clear, that whenever means we are taking input from the keyboard, we call it as a read operation, because we are reading the data that the user is supplying. Okay, so don't get confused, we are not reading from the file, we are reading the data of the user. So for that, for taking input from the user, we will use read function. Okay, here we are reading the content from the input of the user. Okay, so whenever we need to use keyboard, we need to take input from the keyboard, we will use the input stream, because the user will input through your input stream only, and for reading that input we will read function. So don't get confused. Okay, so if you want to show something on the screen, so where you will show that something, on the monitor itself. So on monitor we need to write that thing, then only the reader will be able to read it. So for that you will use standard out stream. Okay, and for that we want that the particular things should be written on the monitor, because we want to display the content on the monitor. So on monitor that content should be written, and for that we need write function. Okay, so sys.stdout.write. So in this way we'll be displaying the contents on the monitor. And if some error occurs, like when you were doing something and there occurs an error, for that we will be using this sys.stderror.write, because we need to print that error. Okay, for taking input we will be using stdin dot read or readline function. Okay, then we want something to be displayed on the screen, or we can say the monitor, then we'll be using sys.stdout.write or writeline function we can use. Okay, and if we want to display the output message, then we will use sys.stderr.write. I hope it is clear. So this is a very basic simple program where we are starting up with importing of the module sys, then we are trying to open a file. Okay, and then we are reading the contents of this particular file line by line, and the first line, when it is read using this file handler, will be given to this line 1 variable, and then it will print it out here. And similarly we are taking the content of the second line of the same file, and then that is stored in line 2, and then we are printing it. Okay, then if any error is there, then we want to print the error, then we will use this particular, and this display message will be there. So we'll be doing the practical of the same after the discussion of this next topic. Next topic is absolute and the relative path. Okay, so what do you mean by the absolute and the relative path? Absolute path is the complete path. Okay, see, if we are starting up with the root directory, this is our root folder, means whenever we are starting any path from the drive, okay, like C drive, D drive, E drive, so whenever we are starting up the path with the root drive, root folder we can say, and we are approaching to that particular file where that is actually existing, then this complete path will be known as your absolute path. Okay, what is a path? Path is a sequence of directory names which gives you the hierarchy. Hierarchy means a fixed particular order to access a particular directory or file name. Okay, the path is a sequence of directory names, because directory is just like your folder only. So we will be having, like, this is my root folder, then inside it we have 3 folders: project, sales and accounts, and then inside this project folder, this is my project 1 folder, this is my file. See, folders will never have any extension. Okay, so this particular is a folder, this is a file. How do I know that this is a file? Because it is having certain extension. Okay, then this is my folder, this folder contains these files, and this particular folder contains these 2 files. So here we can see whatever the name is written without any extension is a folder, and rest all are my files. Okay, so we can have multiple folders, but one thing we must keep in our mind, that in one folder we cannot have the name of 2 files which is same, means one file cannot be stored twice in the same folder. If you will try it, you will see it will ask you whether you want to overwrite it, so you can specify if you want to overwrite it, then otherwise not, so you need to store it with a different name, or you may store that particular file in different folder. Okay, I may have the same file in two different folders, but in the same folder I cannot have same file saved twice. Okay, I hope you are already clear about this concept. So I told you what is the relative absolute path. Absolute path is your complete path that we are starting from the root directory. Okay, and then we'll be having further slashes and the directory names followed by your file name. Okay, so whenever you have been, this is your complete path. We are starting with e drives, then sales, in yearly, then in backup. You can see here also. So you are in sales, then yearly, and then backup. So this is the path, complete path of this backup folder. This is the folder. Okay, so if you want to open a particular file, then like in e drive project folder, project 2 folder, then 1.vbp. so this is the path name and this is your complete path name, I must say. So what is a relative path? This was your absolute or complete path. Okay, sometimes like we are working in a particular directory, and when we want to store the path with reference to that working directory, okay, so we can say it's a relative path. So like I'll show you the practical of it with the help of an example. Okay, so before that we must cover up the theory. Like if you are in a particular folder and from there you want to refer to a particular file, like in my previous video you might have noticed that whenever I was saving the program in the Python current directory, so I was not in need of referring to the complete path. So that type of path is known as relative path, because wherever is my current working directory, if I want to specify the path of the file which lies in the same current directory, then we are not supposed to give the complete path. Like in previous practicals, whenever I have executed programs, 95% I have stored the file in the current working directory wherever your Python files are being stored. Okay, so I was never giving the complete path, I was just mentioning the file name with extension. Okay, so if you are working with the current working folder, the path name will be like this. Okay, just you need to write dot and then name of that particular file. So I'll be showing you again these things with the help of practical, so don't worry about it. Firstly, I will be covering up the practical related to your streams concept, then I'll be showing you the practical of your paths, absolute and relative path. Okay, so rest of your video will be based on the practical concepts, so watch that also properly. So before I start implementing the concept of these streams, std out, std in and std error, okay, I would like to demonstrate a simple program where you can understand the concept very easily. I will be asking the user to give input for two numbers. Okay, and whatever the input the user will be giving, okay, so there will be checking out that whether that particular values are given properly or not. Okay, so because we will be entering two numbers, user will be entering two numbers, and we will be performing the divide operation like a divided by b. If the user enters 0, then we can say division of the numbers are not possible, otherwise we will say that division is possible. Okay, if b is 0, we'll say division is not possible, otherwise we'll say division is possible. Okay, so here is the same program implementing the same concept, so I'm saving it and running it for you. So it is asking me for the first number, so I'm giving it 34. So if my second number will be 0, it will ask me, it will tell me that the division is not possible, otherwise it will say your division is possible. Okay, so why it is giving it in red color? Because this particular content was printed with the help of your error stream. Okay, I'll show you. So you can see initially I have imported the sys module, then sys.stdout.write, because I want that this content should be printed on the screen. So for that I am using write function, and for using the write function I need stdout stream. Okay, so it is just like my print function. Okay, if I want to get it printed with the help of this stream, then write function I have to use, and whatever the content you want to display should be written like this. Okay, in double quotes. So here I am asking the user to input the first number. It will read line will take the input. std in is for taking input. Through keyboard the user will give input, and whatever input the user is giving, it will be taken up with the help of read line function. And because it is a number that we are asking the user to enter, so it should be converted into integers. So this is being typecasted. Okay, so once the first number has been entered, we will display the message for entering the second number from the user. So once the user has entered the second number also, then comes the if else part into implementation. If the user has entered b0, so we can say a divided b, division is not possible, so we can't divide any number by 0, else it will print. See, we have used stream, error stream. Okay, so whatever will be printed on the screen, either of the message will be printed on the screen will be of red color to indicate this is an error. Okay, so I was just trying to show you that whatever you will print through this error, std error, so that will be in the red color. Okay, so this time again I am running the program, and now I will be passing b as 0. So whatever number first you want to give, you can. Then I am entering the second number 0. So this time it is saying division is not possible, cannot divide the number by 0. So both the messages are in red color to indicate the error. So wherever you want to indicate the error, you may use std stream. Okay, and for that you need to accompany write function also. So for implementing these three, stdout, stdin and stdir, you need to import the system module. We in short write as sys. So sys.stdr.write function, as sys.stdin.readline function. Okay, and sys.stdout.write function. So these three functions are very important. Now we will see the concept of file handling. Okay, through these functions only. Fine. So this time we'll be implementing the program of file handling. So here we are asking the user to input the file name that you want to read. Okay, so it will so I'll be means whatever the file is already existing, I must know that, then I'll be providing up the name of that particular file. So it will read that input through the readline function, and for that we are using this stdin. So this particular sys.stdin.readline function, it will ask me the name of the file which is already existing in my system that the user want to read. Okay, want that particular line to be read out. So we are using that open function to open that particular file. Okay, so whatever file name has been provided by this readline function is stored in A. Okay, minded that this readline function always inserts an additional /n. I have told you this thing, additional /n readline function adds. So we are taking the input of the file name. So like my file name is student.dat. Okay, and this readline function, what it will do, it will write in A that student.dat/n. So this is not my file name. /n along with the name of the file is not my file name. So this additional /n is to be truncated off. For that I am using the strip function, so that it may eliminate my additional /n that has been added by the readline function. Okay, if I'll not use the strip function, so it will automatically add the /n after my file name. I'll show you what type of output error you are getting if we are going to remove the strip function. Okay, so we are opening the file, which file that the user has just entered. Okay, name of the file that user has just entered, and that is in A. So we are using a dot strip. Why we are using strip? Because readline is going to add additional /n. So this /n will disturb the name of the file, so in order to remove that /n, we are using this strip function. Okay, so this program is also demonstrating you the concept of strip function once again, though we have covered the strip function in my previous video also. Okay, so we are opening that file which the user is saying here, and in read mode we are opening it, and we will say while true means while the contents in that file exists, that file should be read byte by byte. So inside f dot read, what it is doing, it is reading that file that has been just opened, and it will read one byte at a time. Okay, and 1 byte when it is read, it is passed to ch. Okay, so once means till the ch is getting one byte, it will check whether it is a blank space or a content. Whenever the blank space is observed, it will say that the end of the file has reached. Okay, and it cannot read further, but when the content will it will keep on getting the content, it will print it. Okay, and then finally we are going to close the file. So here again I'm repeating what we are trying to do. We are going to write means ask the user to enter the file name that it wants to read, that system should read it for him. So for that we are taking input from the user using the input stream readline function. So here the user will be asking or entering the name of the file that is to be read, and if the contents it is getting one by one, so this loop will help the particular file to be read completely. Once the contents of the file will be over, it will display this message error in the form of error, because we are using stderror.write function. Okay, so it will display this error message. Further it cannot read because the contents are over. So let me run it for you. You will get the output of the previous also. See, this actually I have written the program in the same na, so definitely you will be getting, this was the first program, it is running again because I have not deleted, it was in the same file. So again it is running now. Here is my next program. This program, please enter the file name which you want to read. Okay, so I am entering student.dat. So this is my file name, and you can see it has read all the contents. It was written in the file ram 11 and class 12. Okay, so this was the contents of the file it has read, and further when the contents were over, it has displayed the message end of the file has reached, no content exists further. Okay, now if I remove this backslash, I mean strip function, if I am going to remove, so you can see what output it is giving me. So when I am removing this strip function, let me delete it first, so otherwise it will come in the output again. Okay, and let me just take it above. Okay, let's save it. Now I'll be running it again. So now you can see it is asking you to enter the name of the file. So I'm giving student.dat. Okay, this is my file name. Now I have removed the /n, I mean strip, so it will not remove the additional /n. So you can see what it is saying. When I tried opening the file, so file name was student.dat/n, and why /n is there? Because I have told you that in the read function it automatically adds /n. Okay, I'll show you again. Here read line function is taking the input, it is adding /n. So because we are with the help of this particular line, we are taking input of the name of the file. Okay, student.dat it is asking, so it is taking student.dat and putting a /n at the end. So if we will not use the strip function, so it will not remove the additional /n. So strip function will remove the /n that has been added by the read line. So now again I'm running, so it is asking me to save. Okay, save it. So this time when we are giving the name of the file student.dat, it will not show any error. You can see now it is running properly because this /n has been truncated off from the strip function that we have used. I hope it is clear to you, the concept is clear to you. Okay, so now let me show you another program, and this is related to the concept of relative and absolute path. So here you can see a program which is demonstrating the concept of the absolute path and the relative path. So this particular is for demonstration of absolute path, and the next 3 lines are demonstrating the concept of relative path. As I told you that absolute path is the path where we are passing the complete path. Okay, and here we are passing the path with respect to the current directory. Okay, so this is my folder. So this is my folder actually that I have just created. So I have created a folder named 1, and inside this folder I have created another folder 2, and inside this folder I have placed one file 2.txt. Okay, so this is my second file. This is the file whose content we are going to read through the absolute path concept and the relative path concept. Okay, so I have created a folder 1. Okay, and inside that I have placed another folder 2, and this is my file. If I have saved it like this, okay, either I can give the complete path, then also it will take it. You can see the path of it. See, actually when I click on this file and see the properties where actually it is residing, you can see in the at this particular path it is residing. So if I copy this complete path and paste it here, so okay, so actually this is my Python file. This particular file is existing here in the folder 1. Okay, and inside the folder 2, this is my file 2.txt, and you can see the content. I am fine, thank you, and expect same for you. Okay, so this content you will get as output. So if you want that complete path of the file, see actually which file will be you will be getting as output, this file. So if you want to copy the path of it, so this is the path. So I have copied the same path from here and pasted it here, but see this file name has also to be added along with this path. Okay, so we are in the C drive, user Swati Arora, desktop, folder 1, folder 2, and this is the file name 2.txt. So I have just copied this path and put another /2.txt. so this is my complete path of this particular file 2.txt. how I have created this file? Opening notepad and writing the text to it. Whatever text you have seen, I have written just this text in notepad and then saved it with the name 2.txt. okay, so once it has been saved, what I have done, I have printed using the contents of the same file will be printed, because I have opened this file in the read mode and I have used concept of raw string r, otherwise I have to put the double slashes. Okay, so print f.read, so it will print the contents of the file 2.txt, and then I have closed this file. So this time I have tried opening the same file with the help of this relative path. How I can say the relative path? This was the absolute path. Absolute is also known as complete path. This is the relative path where my folder is lying. See, this is my Python file. You can match the name absolute relative path. So this file is existing here. Okay, my Python file. So currently I am here, I'm in this particular file, and this file is existing here. So this is my current working directory. I am inside folder 1. Okay, so from here if I specify the path, so after that I need to, from folder 1 I need to go in folder 2, and in folder 2 I have this file. So what is the path of this 2.txt? From the current directory, so I'm putting dot, then slash folder name 2. Okay, in 2 it is 2.txt, the 2/2.txt, so it will be my relative path. Okay, so path has been specified. Now the print function will read the content of this 2.txt and it will print it, and finally the file will be closed. So now I'm saving this file, and you should get the same output twice with the help of this relative absolute path and then from the relative path. In order to make it convenient for you, I am giving a print statement so that you may not get confused. Now I am running it, so you can see this was the absolute path. Through the absolute path I am getting the same output. I am fine, thank you, and expect the same from you. And this is when I have run the relative path concept, again I am getting the same output. So from both I am getting the same output. Absolute path is also working and the relative path is also working. I hope the concept is clear to you. Thank you so much.